Welcome, everybody. The NFL season is over, which means it's time for the NFL offseason. I'm Joe at the Game House, and today we'll be taking a look at a Pittsburgh Steelers 2024 NFL mock draft. The Steelers are on the clock on our 2024 NFL mock draft series. As a reminder, we'll be doing the NFL mock draft database simulator. I like it because the big boards from around the internet are meshed together for their simulator. There will still be things that are unrealistic that happen in this thing, so we'll have to watch out for that as we go along. And we'll also be declining all trades. So the Steelers, pretty good year for the roster they have. Mike Tomlin's done a fantastic job with not having the elite quarterback at the end of the Ben Roethlisberger years, at the start of the Kenny Pickett years. I think they could be in play for a quarterback here that really helps get them going. And if Drake May falls, which we've seen quarterbacks fall in the draft, so maybe it's not the most outrageous thing, or maybe the Steelers trade up. We're gonna go Drake May. Now, JJ McCarthy could be more in play when this happens, but the rumors are he's rising upwards right now. People seemingly don't like Drake May as much. I have him as the third quarterback on my board, but I think he played okay this year. I don't think there's any reason to necessarily move him way far down your boards. If you have Drake May fall to you, you take him right away. You start him next year, and you let him do some work with this team. Would be ecstatic if I were a Steelers fan with that pick. Now, this is going to set up well, I think, for the future as well. The corner issue might be addressed in free agency. Kalen King had a rough year last year for Penn State. He might be the pick. Joey Porter Jr.'s former teammates. That's kind of cool if they do take him. But at this pick, I think Zach Frazier to help that interior offensive line, too. He's played center and guard at West Virginia. I think he's going to be a perfect second-round pick for a team who could step in and start right away, help this offense get going, make sure Drake May's protected, and then see what you got later on in the draft for maybe the corner position if you haven't fixed it in free agency. Now, I would like to get an outside corner for him, so maybe Josh Newton would be the play, but it's like a little bit early for him, maybe not in the big board sense, but a lot of these guys are slot corners. You could take them, and they could be good. Mike Sainristil draws a lot of comparisons to Mike Hilton, who's a former Steeler. Chris Abrams-Drain's probably a slot guy. So I think Josh Newton would be a better fit. We're going to take him. The grade is not going to be A+ because of, he's not as high as some of the other corners, but I don't think they take into account that those guys are slot corners. I think they might want more of an outside guy to start when you can get a different slot corner in free agency or in the draft as well. All right, so let's go with Blake Fisher, the offensive tackle out of Notre Dame here. I like him. He played right tackle most of his career, maybe overshadowed by Joe Alt, but I think he held up pretty well on the right side of the line as well. I think maybe he could develop into a starting offensive tackle, and that gives you good depth as well. So we'll take him, and then we'll go. I think we're going to go Jalen McMillan out of Washington. Maybe a little bit forgotten. I think he had to deal with some injuries this past years. Jalen Polk is on the big boards ahead of him. Roma Dunze's ahead of him. But get another wide receiver to throw in there and help Drake May as well. That's going to take us to pick 197. And these guys we're going to get are more special teams guys, more guys you want to develop into something. Doesn't always work out that way. So we'll see who they end up getting in these picks right now. So let's go. We're going to go with Zion Tapula-Fatui out of Washington. He's dealt with injuries over his Washington career as well. Getting rotational edge rushers at the end of the draft, I would trust the Steelers to be able to develop some of these guys and maybe be impact players later on in their careers, but maybe not right now. And then 238. Could go with another running back. That's what they want you to do here. We're looking for special teams guys mainly, or guys who could be rotationals guys, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Let's go Jordan Jefferson on the defensive line. Cameron Hayward's getting older. You would love to have more guys you could rotate in. Let's see if you can develop him. A guy who's maybe overshadowed by Mason Smith on the defensive line as well, but I think a good player in his own right. So let's go over this draft again. I really love this draft for the Steelers. Drake May's likely not going to fall to pick number 20, but if he does, you run to the podium, you take him. Zach Frazier, interior offensive lineman, a guy who could probably start right away. Josh Newton. Again, there wasn't many available corners who play on the outside available. There were a lot of slot corners, so we went with Josh Newton. I still think it could turn out to be a good pick after he transferred from, I think it was UL Monroe to TCU. Blake Fisher at right tackle. I think he held up well. I think he can be a good right tackle in the NFL. Maybe not right away, but eventually. Jalen McMillan, the wide receiver from Washington. Zion Tapula-Fatui out of Washington as well. And Jordan Jefferson out of LSU for more depth and special teams play. So let me know what you think of this mock draft down in the comments below. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.